Hey guys, a couple announcements before we get into the episode today. One, I'm still doing my bankroll challenge where I'm trying to turn $10,000 into $100,000. Staying within good bankroll constraints, managing that bankroll. I'm streaming it on Twitch. Follow me at the Poker Cannon on Twitch to follow along with that
Ends
content.
in there. CANNON. Link in the description also if you want.
Link in the description. Secondly, we are releasing our Patreon this week. By the time you're listening to this, it will already be out there. For right now, we have only two tiers available. The first is a $5 a month podcast supporter tier. We'll give you a shout out on the podcast, and you will be eligible to win a free entry into our meetup game on Clubs Poker. The second tier is one that will be more expensive in the future, but for now is $15 a month. This is called the pro level study tier, early access. If you go to our Patreon, this will give you access to all sorts of videos that we create, including video tutorials and lessons, study/training videos, and then full session reviews where Max and I review parts of our sessions that we played online and screen recorded.
I think this is an absolute slam dunk, Wes. I mean, all these, training sites where you pay, almost $100 plus a month. Here you can get access to all this content to improve your game. And that's, you won't get anywhere else for these small prices. So I think this is a great spot for players to really, improve their game at a very small cost.
It absolutely is. And just to give you guys a quick breakdown of what this all is, the video tutorials are going to be where we review specific types of spots. So it might be, hey, today we're reviewing playing 3-bet pots out of position, and we do a video on that. Study and training videos are where either Max or I or both of us take some hands that we played and we discuss how we think we played them, where we might improve, and could critique ourselves essentially. The third one, as I kind of mentioned before, is the session reviews where we just watch ourselves play and comment if and when we think it's necessary on our different spots that we find ourselves in. This is all available for $15 a month right now. However, in not too much time, this will actually be more like $27 or $30 a month, and we will have subsequent tiers where you get access to some but not all of this content. For those of you who get in at $15 a month for this content, you will actually be grandfathered in at this price moving forward. So if you think this is some study material that you'd like to get on board with, get in there into our Patreon and you will have access to all of this study material for what I think is a more than reasonable price. Our goal is to post 3 additional videos every week, one which will fall into each of those 3 categories. Feel free to reach out to either one of us or get in our Discord and ask questions if that doesn't completely make sense.
Yeah, and just kind of one more time to reiterate what Wes said here is like the pro level study tier, which is in early access, the $15 a month one, that will be increasing in price as we release more videos, as we just, we're planning on doing 3 videos a week. So make sure to get in there while it's $15 a month and you'll be grandfathered into that when the price increases to 27 as more content comes out once it gets out of early access. So really excited to release this platform for people to study and get better with, but also to help support the podcast. We put a lot of effort and hours into this, and hope you guys enjoy the content. So this is a place where you can kind of not only improve your game, but also support us as well. And if you're not looking to improve your game and just want to support us, you're a fan of the podcast, we have that podcast supporter tier at $5 a month. And yeah, again, it's much appreciated. There's nothing expected, and do what's right for you. And without further ado, Wes, ready to get into the episode?
Let's do it.
Welcome back, my friends, to another episode of the Suited Kings podcast. Today we have, once again, another very special guest, a very close friend of mine, Mr. John Redding. John has quite the resume. He's got 1.42 million in live earnings. Top that with how, Lord knows how much in online earnings. Maybe we can get into that. But he's also a WSOP Bracelet winner, a WSOP Circuit winner, as well as a bunch of other winning stuff that we'll kind of talk about. But John, welcome to the podcast.
Thank you. Thank you for having me on. It's good.
Thanks for being here, John.
Yeah, John, sorry that I don't know English as well.
It's all good.
We did a lot of other winning things.
It's a lot of other winning things. John, so a lot of people from the Midwest are probably familiar with who you are. You've been in the scene for a long time. You and I have been good friends for a long time.
Definitely.
To the people who aren't, familiar with you, tell us a little bit about yourself. How long you been playing poker? How'd you find it?
So I actually started playing poker for free when I was about 15. I'd play free rolls, and
Okay.
free rolls would be like about 2,000, 1,500 people. And if you get like top 20 spots, you get like $20 to sometimes like 400. This is early on, so
Yeah.
free rolls were pretty lucrative.
Yeah.
I'd use the money from free rolls and play like 1-2, no limit online, run up several hundred, lose it all. But that's like how I learned how to play with real money for.
Yeah. I mean, you got to go through the motions. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. And then, when did you decide, like, hey, like, well, obviously, I know you pretty well. You have a background. You have a mental health. What is it? A mental health counselor, master's, or what?
So
What
I got a master's in mental health counseling from the University of St. Thomas. And then I
Okay.
got certified as the clinical hypnotherapist, and then also did a little training for performance coaching and had a private practice in that for a little bit.
That's super interesting, honestly. And I'm curious if maybe a good question would be, or is there any overlap between that and poker? Like, do you see anything that kind of you can use to maybe in your benefit or?
What was interesting is early on when I was traveling around playing poker tournaments, people kind of told me their life stories of like, I don't know why I'm telling you this. I never told this to anybody before. But that is actually what drew me to mental health counseling. So I did poker before going to
Yeah,
get my master's. And it's like, oh, this might be something I could use and hopefully is useful.
that's awesome. That's awesome. Um, and then so you've obviously had like side gigs. I know we were considering opening. Would you call it a clinic?
Um, so I had a private practice
A
for
private
about
practice.
8 months. Yeah,
Yeah. Okay. And then now you do poker full time.
correct.
Did you decide to start like playing poker full time?
I mean, I've always done it. Sometimes part time, sometimes full time. I've just gone full time again last couple years, but it's just been the thing I've enjoyed the most that I have done as a profession in my life. So
Okay. I mean,
happy to do what I'm doing.
you've been making a living strictly off our home games lately, so that's cool.
It's gone well.
Yeah, we need to get Wes in there so you can take some of his money now too. Hey, by
Hey,
the way,
I think I played in that game one time. I want to say I came out about $80 ahead. So
You
I'm
crushed.
printing money there.
I remember you got like a straight flush the very first hand you played, so that's pretty
Yeah,
sick.
what game was that even? I have a picture of it.
Maybe it was like Big O, or it was something. We play a bunch of different games. So
Yeah. Yeah. Is it Dramaha? Did you play
it might
Dramaha?
might have been Drama Hall. It might have been
Yeah,
Drama
because
Hall.
I think it was like
I absolutely hate that game.
because that's the one
A
where
lot of fun.
you get 5 cards, right? And you
Yes.
you play the best Omaha High and then the 5 card draw.
In your hand.
Yes.
Well, no
Yeah.
draw, right? There's no draw, is there?
You
Oh,
do
it's
one draw
drama.
for
There
the
is a
flop.
Yeah.
One
huh.
draw
Yeah,
for the
yeah,
flop.
yeah. Because I remember I had a straight ace through 5 in my hand,
Mhm.
and then there was I don't know if it was a straight on the board and a potential. Anyways, I had the straight flush on the board and I had the wheel in my hand,
It
and
was pretty awesome.
I was feeling pretty good about it.
Yeah, I mean, you locked up a profit really early in that home game, and then you kind of just punted it all back over time.
Okay.
Well, now you got the bankroll challenge. I mean, that's just
Yeah,
gonna
now we got the
get everything
bankroll
back.
challenge.
What real quick though, one thing I forgot to mention in your accolades, well, there's a bunch of things, but one of them was you're also a Sunday Million champ. That was on
Yes.
PokerStars, right?
That
Back
was full tilt, actually.
our full
Yeah,
tilt, right?
Mhm.
explain that to the young people like me who've never been able to play on full tilt.
Yeah.
So before 2011, there were two glorious poker sites called Poker Stars and Full Tilt.
Yep.
And then, of course, lots of drama and lots of shady business happened on the table to make those go under. And then Black Friday happened where the US government wanted their taxes to be paid from those sites, and they shut down online poker until taxes could be paid.
Mhm.
And we're still trying to work at getting online poker legalized in this country, but we'll see. It's going state by state right now.
14 years later.
I know, but those two sites were great. Had three big online scores there, and then haven't played too much online since, but I'll jump into like the Venom and stuff every now and then.
Yeah, so you got the 1K 6 max back in the day. There was like 300K up top in that one. You got what, fourth for how much in that?
105,000.
105,000 on. I mean, you're like what at this year, early 20s, right? Or maybe not
Sorry,
even.
how old am I then?
How old were you then? Yeah.
Let's see. I was 21, I think.
21, yeah. So it's like
Okay.
what was hitting a score like that at that age? Did that change like things for you?
That particular score was fun because I like started the tournament at like 4 in the afternoon, was playing till 6 in the morning. So my roommate like woke up and, what are you doing? It's like, I'm still playing the tournament. And then busted like 30 minutes after that.
Oh
Yeah.
man.
But yeah, definitely felt pretty elated after that for sure.
Yeah, I mean, what a score at 21 years old. I was still
Yes.
like playing bar poker at 21.
No, the one that really like uh have vividly in my memory was my very first big online score. Actually, so I had like $4,000 saved up for the first 18 years of my life.
Yep.
Um, I ended up going up and down in that, but like the very first big score I had was I did a 215 rebuy, and I told myself I wouldn't add on or rebuy. Like that was just kind of the bankroll management I had for myself at that time, and I ended up shipping it for $58,000. And I
Wow.
was just kind of like pretty overwhelmed by that for the next 3 4 months straight, because when you have $4,000 saved up and all of a sudden you have 58,000, changes things quite a bit.
Yeah. I mean, all of a
Yeah,
sudden,
it does.
yeah, and truthfully, a lot of people who go through things like that, I feel like poker players, it happens to mostly where they can just, run into a pile of cash out of nowhere, is being able to manage it and not just spew it all off. You know what I mean?
I mean, I definitely made my mistakes early on.
Do you
So
want? Yeah, I remember you.
What?
Sorry, what?
Yeah, talk about some of those. I was gonna ask, like, when you get that kind of score so early on, looking back now, does it ever feel like you didn't quite know what to do with yourself at that point?
um all right, so I'll just be honest of like just where I start off everything. So
Yeah.
I started off by playing like $10 rebuys online and like 180-man sit and goes and stuff like that. And my first bigger score, actually, like just kind of grinding that, my first bigger score was getting seventh in a second chance Sunday Million for like 7,000 or whatever. So I actually built up my 10,000 then to about, or 4,000 then to about 10,000. And then I was stupid because I was young. So I ended up playing a bunch of 400, 500 buy-ins and lost it all. And actually
Yep.
went in debt on a credit card about $230 or something like that.
Okay.
And I was pretty distraught at that time. Told my parents, and my parents were like, okay, we'll pay for this now, but we'll never do this again, and you owe us this back as
Yep.
soon as you can get it. So I immediately went to work at McDonald's, actually,
Yeah.
after that. So I worked at McDonald's for the summer. I paid that back, and then I worked at Rochester Public Library for a year, and then built up my savings to about 4,000 again. And I
Okay.
didn't play poker at all. I just didn't play poker during that time. I didn't play poker the first year of college. And then I came back from college. It's like, okay, well, I didn't have good bankroll management before, so I'm going to have very careful bankroll management this time,
Yeah.
as well as I can with the experience I have at this point. And to start with $10 rebuys again, and ended up getting third in one of the $10 rebuys at night for like 7,000.
Okay.
Yeah.
And I was like, okay, well, that's crazy. And that was on Saturday. So then on Sunday, the next day, I played the Sunday Million for 215. And then I get like 400th or something for 500 bucks. And I'm like, okay, well, it's a free roll money. So that's what actually ended up me going into this 215 rebuy. But I wasn't going to add on. I wasn't going to rebuy, or I would have got myself in the same problem again. And in this particular tournament, it puts you at a pretty big disadvantage. So the stars were aligned for me, definitely, on this day. But and then ended up shipping that after that whole.
Okay.
I love that. Yeah, the
So-
transparency with that. I mean, it's a lot of people I think really actually resonate with that or have experienced that when they, are young or just don't have money management, like you got to go, unless you were taught before that, you got to kind of go through those to like, you learn from failing, and that's a failure that you learn from. So
No, definitely. And then later on, like when I had even more money, I lost almost all the majority then too. But then I didn't get in debt that time, but I just grinded cash games to build it back up.
Yeah. So would you say that was a pretty valuable experience? You kind of
both were, yeah.
Yeah,
those
both
are the
were.
only 2 times I've ever gone like down to 0, or in the first case down under
below.
$230. Yeah.
But the good news is you were probably very young at that age, and there's
I was 18
in front of you.
I was 18. That was the very first time I'd ever like really played for serious real money before.
And now now you've developed as a man, and you got a husband, you got a wife, you got a wife,
yes,
and
a wife and a daughter, and very lucky.
And you're killing it. So I like that you shared that, because I know a lot of people have gone through that same thing. Do you want to talk about? So you said you ran deep in the Sunday Million a few times, and I know that you actually had won the Super Million. Well, you chopped.
Yes.
It was the $640 Super Sunday Million on Tilt, not on PokerStars. It's been a minute.
January 2011.
January 2011. So pretty much just like months before Black Friday then.
Yeah, but I was fortunate to like get in the process of like, if I had a big score, I'd take it off and pay taxes.
Well, let's dive into that then. So
avoid that whole getting unstuck.
I remember there's a chop you said you made during then that you really
I did.
Yeah, do you want? Let's talk about that, and then let's talk about were you able to get all your money off before the DOJ took the site? Oh, you were? Okay.
Yes, like I said, whenever I had a big score, I would cash it all out right away and then pay taxes on it. I just got in that habit, so fortunately that allowed me to get it off before.
That makes sense. Well, tell us about this job.
2011. So final table, Sunday Million, about 1,900 people. We got 3-handed, and I just made. This is the first time I made a deal, and of course, it was a terrible deal in hindsight. But I had like two times the chips as the other 2 people, and basically, we put it as even chop with more to play for first. But I ended up losing $40,000 from what I would have got for just getting first overall. But the bad aspect of the chop was just doing even money and then more to play for first. Like, it was just bad. I told myself right then I would never do another bad deal.
It's funny. I lost about that same amount by not chopping in the MSPT Colorado stop, because they offered me.
That's right. That was the first trip we went on.
Yeah, there was four of us left. Half the chips in play, and homeboy who was short was just screaming for a chop, and I would have got well over 60K. I mean, well over 6 figures, and I think I was guaranteed 57K at that point, and I denied the chop having half the chips in play, and then he just scoops 2 all-ins from me, ace king and ace ace.
Oh my god!
And I ended up just busting forth and lost all that money. But it's funny how like you're never guaranteed to get the money whether you go one way or the other. Like you, for example,
100%.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So
just the aspect of now that we do like different types of chops, like ICM or chip chop or whatever. This was kind of before those are more streamlined. So I was like, okay, just kind of make a deal to make a deal, and just made a very bad deal.
How much? How much did you chop that for?
Well, I ended up getting 176,000.
That's insane. I mean, you've already had now 2 massive scores online. I mean, in your early 20s, I never got to experience that, so I think that's super cool. Yeah. And then, so that's 2011. Obviously, things shut down then. Are you starting to look at the live streets a little bit more and start doing that, or how'd you transition into live?
That's literally when I was starting to the first thing I did with live. Well, okay. Here's another fun story. The very first live tournament I ever played was the 10K LA Poker Classic.
No,
pretty stupid.
Started pretty fast.
No, talk about bad bankroll management again. Here was bad bankroll management. So yeah, and then right after that, I played the 5K at the bike, and I still wasn't protecting my whole cards well. So I think it was Victor Ramden actually told me he saw my cards or whatever on break one time. I was like, oh crap, all right, I got to protect it.
Oh wow.
So yeah, this was after 2 of winning a good amount of money online. But I've made mistakes at every stage.
Well, I mean, that makes sense. Yeah, I love that you're just firing away in your early 20s. You're just like, yes, let's parlay this.
That's not a smart idea.
Where were we? What was that event that I just mentioned? That was, oh yeah, transitioning to live. That's right. So you kind of start doing that. And I think I probably met you not too long after that. I want to say you and I started, or I at least started like hearing about you, 2014, maybe 2013, something like that. Because that's kind of when I started coming in there. What were you doing at that time? Were you playing dailies, or were you still, like, obviously you played 10Ks at this point. Had you maintained a role, and were you kind of trying to build from there, or what happened?
So actually, excuse me, sorry. I just graduated with a minor in economics, major in psychology, and I went back to home. I lived at home for about 6 months or whatever. Not exactly sure what I was going to do next, but then I ended up getting a job as a direct service professional in St. Paul for about 10 months.
Okay.
This is when the bankroll was low again, because like I said, I made bad choice. This is my second time.
You're firing away clearly.
Down to zero. Yeah, well, this is the second time I went almost down to zero. Was 2013, 2014, just kind of firing away and not being smart.
Yeah.
Not going in debt, but getting down very, very low. That I had to build back with cash games. But yeah, I worked as a direct service professional for 10 months in 2014. And then I actually went over. So our company got shut down because of there was government funding, and it was cut in half, and they couldn't keep up with the overhead anymore, so they shut down the company. And I was doing like a few kind of jobs kind of outside of my pay grade towards the end of the company. So my boss brought me over to the job that she just got accepted to, and I was on the fast track. And then when I was doing the orientation, there was a fine print of you can't do this if you have 5 speeding tickets or more, which unfortunately I got a lot of speeding tickets when I was in college.
You're speeding,
so yeah. So I was like, okay, well, I guess we'll repeal. We'll see if I actually get this job or not, but who knows? I ended up going down to Iowa that weekend and getting 5th in the MSPT there for like 23,000 or something. And then during that time on the drive back, actually, I got a call saying like, hey, we can't do anything for you right now, unfortunately. It's like, okay, just accept it. Nothing I can do about it. And then got 3rd at Canterbury again. It's 2014 December right now for like 36,000 or something.
Yeah, 37,509. I got you.
Yeah. And then I go into 2015, and I'm traveling and playing a bunch of tournaments all over. And I'm actually not doing too well too, bricking a ton.
2015 is one for the books for my boys.
2015 was good. 2015 gets good, but at the beginning it was rough. And then I actually applied for a master's program too, and got accepted at St. Thomas. So I went back in the fall and got my master's mental health counseling in the next 3 years. But that took a lot of kind of stress off of kind of the results now of poker. So like, I'm going back for this fall. So I had like 25,000 or something in the poker bankroll, and then went to Vegas. Like, all right, I'm just going to grind $200 and $100 tournaments and see how it goes.
Yeah.
And then somehow just banked this 1K right off the bat. So it completely turns the summer around, where I started playing bigger tournaments and whatnot, and just had a really special summer.
You're talking about your bracelet, right? The hyper turbo?
Yeah, the bracelet.
Yeah,
so right away.
So it's the last day of May, the 31st of May. It's 2015. You've been getting slapped around.
Yeah. Sorry. No, before that, sorry. I gotta say one thing, because I went to Council Bluffs, the stop right before that, and that's where I got my circuit ring or whatever.
Yeah.
But I had a crazy scenario if I was going to get the I guess like casino championship or whatever. Like I had the most points with getting like a 1st, a 3rd, and a 7th or something.
And from that series, you mean?
Yeah. And the only way to the casino championship was one guy had to finish like 1st through 3rd, I think it was, in the very last tournament, and he won it.
Oh no.
It's like, okay, well, that one wasn't meant for me either, but like that helped also to, like,
that's a slap.
Back up to go to Vegas.
Yeah. Okay. So you head into Vegas. It's it's the end of May. you probably still have, you're like, all right, let's just win something big. And then all of a sudden they have this new, it's the inaugural. I don't even know if they've had it since then, have they? But it's the $1,000
variations.
buy-in hyper turbo. That was the first year they had it, I'm pretty sure, right?
I think so, yes.
And do they still have that one? I
I
forget.
think they do. They definitely have the bounty version of it.
Brownie
then
version.
Yeah,
I
it's the
think
bounty.
every now and then there might be a regular
They
turbo.
might have it right at the end of the series.
Yes.
It's like the last day. Yeah.
This is a one-day bracelet event, correct?
2 days. Final tables on the
Final
second
table
day.
second day. Okay. All right. So do you remember how many entries were in that bad boy?
I think it was like 1,400.
1,400 is a $1,000 buy-in. You shipped it outright for $252,000. Just starting off your summer with a bang. Did anything change right then? I mean, you get
Yeah, well, I didn't
also a little
grind
bit
the 100 and 200 buy-ins the entire summer.
maybe not in financially, but just in terms of like, peer respect and things like that. Like you probably know a lot of people kind of congratulating you and stuff. I know Minnesota's a big sweat, and I remember
Yes.
watching it. So
No, the most special thing about that entire tournament was everybody cheering for me and rooting me on. Like, it was an extremely special experience to have a lot of people like care about and are rooting for you, like right next to you, like in the stands. Like, and then just like them jump over the stands when you won it.
So
it'll always be special.
Yeah, I mean, you're obviously off to a hot start. You now hit a 250,000 score. It's your biggest score ever, right? Is that correct? Even
Yes.
online? Yeah.
Yes.
And now that's not the end of your summer, John. I'm not sure what you played in between, but almost exactly a month later, you're at the final table of the $1,111 buy-in, the Millie Make, or no, little one for one drop, right?
Little one, yep.
Yeah, little one for one drop. So you're at the final table that a month later. I mean, that's got to feel pretty surreal. You're obviously guaranteed another
fantastic.
6 score pretty much at what, 7th place or 8th place or something like that. And then you end up getting 4th in that for 212. So now you've had what, a almost $470,000 summer.
Big summer.
Did you party at all that summer?
Yes, I think so. Probably throughout. I mean, when I was younger, I definitely partied a lot in Vegas. But I mean, the most special part was Tom Hammers actually he had a 4th of July celebration that time. So I remember being on like the rooftop with him and a bunch of people.
Okay.
That was
Tom does it big.
special.
For those who don't know Tom Hammers, like he's always got like the biggest suite at the Rio, and like
amazing.
Yeah, he's always been super like just very giving. So he's a wild card too. Tom is a great guy.
Oh, he's special.
So now you got a bracelet in your
Great
hand.
person.
I mean, do you feel like after you won that bracelet, did that kill your drive at all for poker? I'm genuine question.
No, I mean, not at all. I mean,
a question.
I was I can get bracelets all the time. No, of course not. Like,
that was a very strange sounding question. The reason I asked is because I had like a big goal to win an MSPT event, and I did. And after I did it, I didn't really have like a hunger because I reached that goal, and I found myself kind of lacking in hunger to play a lot after that, which just seems, maybe that just is me, maybe I'm an anomaly, but I felt like I reached a goal to where I hadn't set another one that kind of gave me that drive. You know what I mean?
Sure. I mean, I got one goal that's probably everybody's goal. So, but I'll always keep it, winning the WSOP main event.
Yeah.
Who knows how it'll happen, but it's almost my goal. It's always something at least to strive for.
Dude,
like my initial goals, like originally though, were like having a 6-figure score online and then winning a Sunday Million. That was like at the very beginning. Yes. That was cool. Yeah. Very special. And then, I mean, this is my new goal. We'll see if it ever happens, but everybody has.
It's too bad there's only one of them per year, you know?
I know.
Makes it hard.
That's what makes it special. That's what makes it so special.
You kind of got a second one with the WPT championship, but it's not as special, obviously.
I mean, that would be incredible too. Anything's incredible. They're all incredible.
Just winning a tournament.
This is my goal. I mean, who knows what will ever happen?
I hope it does, honestly. I mean, you're obviously... I could see it. I can sense it. I could feel it. I could see that. Umit could also sense it. He was telling us last week.
Well, Umit's a crusher.
I think he called about 12 bracelets for Minnesota this summer.
That was awesome. I hope so. How sick would that be? Just Minnesota. I mean, Minnesota usually runs over Vegas. I mean, to anyone from not Minnesota probably hates me for saying that. But
DJ wins the Millie Bounty. I mean, Aaron Johnson gets second in the Monster Stack.
We got
Yeah, we had Chuck who got like 6th in the Millie Maker.
Chuck did fantastic. Chuck's actually doing very well recently too.
Yeah,
Look at some of
he
his other
is.
runs. He's doing
Yeah.
very well.
And he played. Chuck's a super solid player. A lot again,
Mhm.
Minnesota players for those who aren't familiar.
100%.
But so now, John, you've had some incredible scores. You've kind of, established yourself in the poker community. You've been playing poker over the next few years. You've been working and doing side things. You built a family, you bought a house. You've done all this sweet stuff. Kind of more to now the modern times, 2024, 2025. Last year, and you and Wes and I have been in a group chat for a while, and
Yes.
you and I are in a group chat with other people as well. But you've been absolutely just tearing all through 2024. You've been made how many final tables? I don't even know. I probably could look unhanded, but it seemed like you're at every final table of every event. And then you were just kind of fizzling out right as the final table started, either getting, just coolered or whatever it might be, but you were just stuck in that like 8th to 9th place that.
So I will speak at that now. I definitely had the favorable final table variance when I first started poker, and I had the unfavorable final table variance the last few years. But I mean, that's what makes you appreciate it even more.
It does, especially when you
Finally get
overcome
one
it,
through.
which you recently did just a couple weeks ago, in the $400 MSPT prelim event. It's a $400 ultimate stack or something like that, right?
I think so.
Like a 100K starting stack. Two things. First off, what do you think of that structure starting with 100K? I mean, pretty similar
Just
just to what, yeah, just fine. Yeah, it kind of seems
I mean,
like,
it all comes down to what the blinds are, not necessarily what
yeah,
how many chips you start with.
exactly. Yeah. And it seems to almost kind of align. I mean, I didn't make it deep enough in the last one to really know how the deep play was, but it seems like, or at least through the first day, the blinds kind of, in terms of how many big blinds you have, it remains the same. But anyways, you made the final table of that, and you did it secretly. I wasn't even following the event. And then all of a sudden I get a text from you to the boys and you're like, we did it or something along the lines of that. And just got the super gangster photo of you holding the MSPT trophy, and you won 50 something K off $400, and you finally overcame that hump. How good did that feel?
Oh, fantastic. I mean,
Yeah.
it was it was a 9 final tables in a row with getting 9th through 7th place.
That's
So
insane.
it was very nice to just finish one off again. Felt very special.
I'm sure it can.
What when you go through a stretch like that, and we were at a couple of the same final tables where you got 8th or 9th place, and what is that stretch like where after like 5 or 6 of these in a row, where you go into another final table, is it kind of in the back of your head like,
oh, it definitely got in there, like, oh man,
Yeah.
I just need to get past 7th place.
Yeah.
And then, but the last few, I stopped thinking like that. I just like, okay, well, let's just keep going. See how it goes.
It's just like you're kind of you're there doing your job, like you're showing up to work, kind of just have that mentality of like, gonna do what I'm gonna do.
No, I mean, it's interesting too. Last few years, I felt much more professional with this than I had even early on, because just the amount of cashes per tournament I played is much higher percent now than it was early on. And then the number of final tables, actually, in the last like 2.5 years, I have the same amount of final tables I had previous the entire time before, other than like the 180 man sitting goes and stuff like that. But
Sure.
it's interesting, but feel like I'm in a good spot right now. So
I'm glad, and
good.
I'm glad, because it probably almost, I mean, poker's so weird in the mental, where it's like, obviously, like making all these final tables alone is just such a great accomplishment, and you're making money still, but like at the same time, it puts this like super weird block in your kind of thought process. You're like, well, am I always going to be stuck here? Am I screwing something up at this point? Like, even though you're succeeding, like you're having success, like by making final tables.
Well, and I don't know if you can shed light on this, but it's like if you are getting 9th, 8th, 7th place, like maybe you're not making money necessarily, because you have all those other buy-ins that
you
don't
win one, it
result in
counts for
cashes.
9 of them. So
Yeah. So
that's a good point.
Max, did you have any more questions on that front? I had a couple.
No, get to it. Let's get it.
Yeah. So obviously you've been playing for quite a long time, taking it seriously for a long time. How do you study now? How do you get better now? And how has that changed since when you were maybe in your early 20s or 20s, just at all?
actually in 2018, was my big wake up call. I played
Yeah.
like a 1K 1 day tournament at the Win and just got crushed. And
Yeah.
I was just like, all right, my kind of style of shoot from the hip doesn't work anymore. So I started studying a lot. And my biggest study tool actually recently has just been doing Odin, running sims on it, using the
Mhm.
battle simulator, stuff like that. I'll talk with hands and stuff, of course, with like you guys, Koo, like a bunch of other people, but it's taken a lot more seriously.
Dude, what
Yeah.
a great analogy that was. Shooting from the
Mm.
hip. I love that. Instead of like focusing in and aiming down sights, like, and then like studying in and really dialing it in. I like that a lot.
Well, it's also interesting too. I used to call with a lot of like high cards and stuff, but now I just feel much more adept with bluffs, which I didn't feel very
Like some
comfortable
leaks
with
that
in
you
the
had.
past.
Yeah.
So I'll still do it, but I just don't do it as much anymore.
I will say, like, I played a lot with you over the years. I mean, you and I've even been heads up in a tournament before. Remember that Canterbury tournament we got heads up in?
Mhm.
And it was like a 350 with like 11K up top. And you and I were heads up, and you just slapped me around. Every time we play poker, you slap me around. And I still love
Definitely
you.
got the right side of the variance though with you in the home
No,
too.
no,
That's
but
for sure.
it's
For
not just
sure.
the right side
100%.
of variance, though. Like, you have this innate ability, this really good intuition. I mean, I remember a hand we played in our last home game where I bluffed with the nut blocker on a three flush with the ace of hearts. And I don't remember what you called with at this point, but you called with like it was either like a single pair or two pair. And I was just like, I don't know when to run bluffs against you, or if I've ever should ever. Like, I felt like that was the prime spot, and you just read my soul and you just made a correct call. Um, and every time we play together, you're intimidating to play against. You know, it's funny because outside of poker, you're just a very empathetic, genuine, like caring, good friend and a good person. But like at the table, you're a fucking killer.
Thank
Absolutely.
you.
You know what I mean? No, no, it's and I feel like you're reading souls when you're there. Like, you just have this look, and um I don't even know where I'm going with this, but I just wanted to butter you up a little bit. You're a killer.
Thank you. No, it was interesting too, like because before I just didn't feel like any of my bluffs would get through. I thought like this is like the weakest part of the game. So I got really good at doing hero calls and getting really thin value. Like that's how I did well early on were
Mhm.
those two areas of the game. But then with studying, my bluffing game has like gotten much better. So now I just don't do those aspects as much. But those were the aspects that like I was just very strong in poker from
Do
the
you feel
beginning.
like after you
Lots of
study
experience.
bluffing, you bluff more or less?
My bluff quite a decent amount now, and I don't do like weird, like kind of smaller sizes or whatever, like scare bluffs more. If I need a bluff 150% pot, I'll do 150% pot.
Love it.
Mhm.
That's awesome.
But it's because I studied, and now I
Yeah.
understand why.
And you know
That's
when
what I
to,
got to do here.
more, yeah, when it's a good bluff, when it's not a good bluff, the story makes sense,
Mhm,
etc.
mhm,
Um, would you say that like you sort of realized that your bluffs were getting called a lot, and then you're like, okay,
mhm.
well, I guess how did that play out? Did that lead you to also go for thin value because people called you in these spots a lot?
I just so like in 2015, the thin value, the hero calls, that is actually what got well. Okay. Cool, remember this hand. I don't remember all the details specifically, but this was not a GTO type bluff. But
Hmm.
like this is what I would used to do, and some of them worked, and some would work miraculously. But when I was in the kind of the zone in this summer of 2015, it seemed to work at this time. But I just got moved to this table. We're playing at 3K full ring, and there's like 80 or so people left. And afterwards, like who told me, one of this one guy was just like bluffing everybody before I got there. But I got there, and the very first hand, I think I think I just defend like 8-7 of diamonds or 8-7 suited or something in the big blind, and he opened on the button, and flop was like ace let's see if I can remember this right. Ace five uh deuce or something. And like um I bet he raises, I just flat, just a random hand.
This is
Turn
what we call
is,
taking it.
I was
oh
like,
yeah,
wait a second.
because I
Am
just like
hearing
felt
this
that I was
right?
gonna, I felt like I was just gonna win this hand. I felt like I was just gonna find a way to just take him off this hand.
I have a saying for
By his
that.
call is check,
The conviction
is
play.
raise.
Like, yeah.
And then he bets the turn, and the turn's like a 6, or yeah, something like that.
You just have complete
I feel like it's a gut shot. I feel like I just turned a gut shot.
I'll turn a gut
He
shot.
bets, and now I raise him.
Mhm.
And then he tanks for like a minute or so and calls. And then I feel like, okay, I have to tank now on the river for about 2 minutes and then bet like 80%
Yeah.
up back, and he's going to tank and fold. And that's exactly what happened on some random river card. And
Okay.
then I showed it face up afterwards.
Windmilled.
And he spewed off his chips a bit afterwards. It's like, but like this was like not a GTO style bluff, but this is like how I bluff in times, and like sometimes it'd work really well, and sometimes it would end catastrophe and badly.
Yeah. Yeah, that's interesting. I feel like, and granted, back around that time I was not that good at poker, I don't think, but I felt like my bluffs back then were kind of the same thing where I would know how to tell this really good story. The problem is that at times I would just always be doing it. And it's like, okay, yeah, you don't have a big hand every 4 hands, like people. I remember when I started playing like 200 at Canterbury, there was a hand where I like floated a check raise with 7-3 suited on like queen 5-5 and then bluff turn. You know what I mean? And I'm like, oh no, this is how I would play a 5. And it's like, yeah, that's true. But then when people realize that that's not like a rare thing, a rare line for you to take, they're like, oh, he just doesn't have it mostly, know? But yeah, no, I mean, the way you describe that hand, it's like, oh, that sounds like you have a set or something, or flop 2 pair, whatever it might be.
Yeah, but like, so that was like one of the times where I got like a big bluff through, but normally it was the hero calls and the hero folds. Like there's a crazy hand actually where I just started running over the table at Hammond or whatever. It was circuit main, so 1700 buy-in. And I just like started chipping up a ton, and I could tell people are getting a little bit frustrated. But like I opened again, pocket 8s, and big like button calls and big blind defends. And flop is Jack 6. Checks to me. I bet again, like I think it's like 30% pot or whatever. And button calls, big blind folds. Turn is a 10, goes check, and river is a 10. And all of a sudden, or no, so sorry, the big blind actually calls, the button folded because he had the lead here. And the big blind just leads like 150% pot. And I'm just thinking, okay, well, ace high or king high, I don't think is going to go for this high of a percent on the river for value. It'd probably go like maybe like 70% if they're really cautious. It just kind of feels like he is frustrated and has a counterfeited pocket pair. So I ended
because
up
it's Jack 6 10 10.
Jack 6 10 10. So I ended up just calling with my pocket 8s, my 8 kicker.
You had 8 high.
8 high wins. Yeah, pocket 3s.
Didn't you have a hand? Didn't you have a hand like that recently, Wes?
You mean against you in the meetup game?
Oh shit!
Where
no hand. Never mind. Nothing happened.
Double barrel bluff and then just check called the all in with Jack high on the river.
Yeah,
that was against you.
Yeah, he shit on me.
That one made more sense. That is tricky though. I mean, with 8 high there, because it's like,
I felt like
what if your opponent
has much more of like a counterfeited pocket pair under the 6? There's a chance that it's pocket 9s and it beats me, but I beat all the rest of them. And it also leans a little bit more to it was under the 6, just based off of it looked frustrated. Like frustrated.
Yeah, that makes sense. It could be like a 6-7 or something, 6-5. Because it was from the big one. But yeah, no, that's pretty crazy where it's like you have to be so dialed in for that. Like if you had king high or something, that's like a solid hero call. But you have to be really dialed in to like think it through and think actually 8 high is good here a lot.
That's sick. I love that.
Actually, I did a kind of a fun one too with Reiner Kempe, actually. Final 3 or 4 tables of the little one drop. And I ended up calling them with it was either jack or 10 high or whatever, and chopped with them on the river.
Should've
I
raised.
felt like he had the up and down straight draw, and I felt like, okay, I know one of his cards, and I beat like the majority of what his other
Of the
cards
straight
would be, but
draws.
but it ended up being the card that chopped. It's like a pretty sizable pot, blind versus blind, and just ended up
For
chopping.
those who don't know, Rainer is he's the original super high roller bowl
A
champion.
ridiculous end boss.
Yeah.
Yeah, actually,
like
like a
little
German
bit above
Crusher.
my pay grade at this point in time, but
Like friends
there's
with
a fun
Fedor
hand
and
here.
all those, I think.
But
yeah, he's a very good player.
very, very good player.
Wes, do you have any further questions on that before we get into some like a hand or two?
No, let's go with your hand. I
right.
actually you sent this to me and I remember the action, but I didn't
ignore it.
actually give you my feedback. So
Yeah,
let's rip you to shreds. I want to do
okay.
it.
Yeah, do it. Please do. If I mess anything up here, John, specifically from you, I'd love to just. I think this will be kind of now a reoccurring thing in our interviews specifically, is kind of just breaking down hands and just getting your thoughts and seeing how people think differently about different the game we love, obviously, in the strategy here. So this is actually an online hand. It's on Global Poker. It's during the Grizzly game. So if you win, you get like a sweet little a Grizzly trophy. There's 3 events during the day. There's a low, a medium, and a high. This is the high event, meaning the highest buy-in of the day for that series. So it's a 99 buy-in. I want to say it's a 40K guaranteed tournament.
Sounds right.
We're in the money already at this point. There's probably, I don't know, 300 or 400 entries, maybe something like that. There's 22 people left. It's a progressive bounty. So we started off with $45. Not half of the buy-in goes to your prize pool, half goes in. Anyways, I've collected 423, and I have the 3rd highest bounty in the tournament at this point. So I'm currently 2nd place with 22 left. Chip leader's to my direct right, and he's got an even higher bounty than me. Before we get into the hand, I will just say that I think so far he has not tried to get too splashy with me. I haven't played with him too much, but he seems to have been slightly passive towards me so far. At least he hasn't clicked at me or anything like that yet. Okay.
How many blinds do you guys have, and what are the spots? Sorry, I think I
No, I haven't said it yet. So there's
Okay.
currently 8 people at our table. Again, there's 22 people left in the tournament with like, I don't know, 4K up top plus whatever the progressive bounty. So it's typically gonna be like 8K to the winner, something like that. He's under the gun 1 with 84 bigs. I'm in low jack with 74 bigs. So he's got 10 more bigs than me, and I'm in 2nd place. He's in 1st. Everybody else at our table has 20 bigs, 23 bigs, 21 bigs, 41 bigs, 16 bigs, and 5 bigs.
You're already in the money?
We're already well deep into the money.
Okay. But you're still like a few tables away. You said how many left?
So it's a 9. We're 3 tables left in the tournament.
22 players left. Yeah.
Okay.
22 players left. So anyways, he opens under the gun 1 here. I got the action up in front of me. He opens to 2 big blinds. I have ace king off here in low jack, which is next position to him. Being that obviously he's the only stack that can destroy me. Our hand's too strong here. We probably have to 3-bet. What do you think?
Yeah, not 3-bet.
Yeah. Are we just going, what size into
5
standard?
blinds.
What's that?
5.
You're going to 5? Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So
That'll be what you wanted to do.
okay. I went to 6 big blinds, not too much of a difference there.
I actually had a thought on that quick. I think my standard sizing is going to be bigger than 5, but I think in PKOs, when you're going against someone who has you covered and you have a pretty good bounty, I think like
disincentive
just sizing up in general
Oh,
is good.
incentivizes. That makes
Yeah,
sense.
because they have more incentive to call, so like you can get more value in a way.
I
That
just
makes
think
sense.
of
Yeah.
sure. So when I was thinking of like 5 big blinds too, I think of when it's an early position open and you're like next to act or like next to act or whatever. A smaller size is still going to accomplish what like 3.5x would have done.
I agree.
Like
with
Just
if you're
because
in a later
it's
position,
still
like a
already
mid
so
position-
strong.
Yeah, if you're like in a mid position or later position, then you do 3.5x.
And
Okay.
and my basic kind of rule of thumb, I often adjust my three bet sizing. For me personally, it's based on how big our stacks are. So typically when we're deeper, like, I mean, obviously with only 22 people left and us both being at over 70 bigs, that's super deep in these tournaments,
Of
right?
course.
When I'm deeper, over 50, over 40 bigs, I typically size up to 3x. If I'm like, 20 to 30 bigs, then if I'm three betting, I'm typically going, 2.5x. Anyways, so I just based on that. That's kind of my rule of
Sure.
thumb. Okay, so the action goes, he makes it two bigs, I make it six bigs with the king of hearts, ace of diamonds. It folds back to him and he calls. There's 14.3 bigs in the pot, and the pot comes king of clubs, jack of clubs, nine of hearts. So I have ace king. We got top, no back doors, obviously, besides the straight.
I don't like this flop already, but
yeah, I mean, it seems like a dangerous flop against
dangerous
his
flop.
is essentially under the gun raise. I said it's, he's, or no, under the gun one raise. So let me ask you, before he has any action, what are your thoughts here? I mean, typically his spot, most people are just going to check here, right? Do you ever see a sense to pot control here on a flop like this being that deep?
Yes.
You
He
do.
checks you. I'm checking this. I'm checking this flop.
I consider that. Wes, what are your thoughts?
Yeah, I think if we're in a spot where it's like, let's say we're early in the tournament and we're this deep, like I'm fine betting it in general, but this is such a bad spot to like face a check raise or get a lot of chips in against the one guy who covers you in the tournament.
Yeah.
Like if it's early, you're happy to call a check raise because he could have a lot of semi bluffs too, but
yeah,
we don't want to be playing for chip EV at this point,
It's such an interesting spot because obviously
it's not one I really want to bloat massively.
You don't, right? And I agree with you. And initially, like my first thought is, I think so. He checks. I thought about it for a decent second, and I was like part of me wanted to check, but then at the same time, I'm like, my hand is extremely strong. I can get value from a lot worse. Plus, I can deny some equity by betting. I mean, there's just a lot of hands that still get value from. However, the situation where we're both like overwhelming chip leaders of the tournament, I think that in hindsight makes me want to check more.
It's more too if like it's a later position open and then you three bet and call or whatever, then I'm definitely going to bet. But since it's early position open, the range is going to be stronger and it's going to hit this board harder.
I agree. What if you are betting here? What would you be betting into the 14.3?
I don't want to. Honestly, I really wouldn't want to bet here, but if I would, probably like 25% pot.
25%. Okay. What about you, Wes?
Probably same or like up to a third. Here, okay. What I was gonna say mainly is like I would be much more inclined to see bet if it was King 10-8, I would bet that. But
yeah,
King
I would
Jack 9,
I would do that. I would bet that one.
King Jack 9, it's like we got the Queen 10 suited for the nuts, and Jack, like there's gonna be more two pair combos where like King 10-8, you're gonna be quite a bit safer.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot more just straight draws instead of nutted hands. I agree with you completely. So typically I would bet smaller here. My initial thought was like, I should just, in hindsight, it sucks because I wanted to check, but I was just like, I thought that would be the bigger mistake in the moment. So I decided to go with bet. And I ended up betting about 40% pot instead of 30% pot, which is odd because typically I would go a third to quarter as well and then just reassess. I for some reason in the moment went 40%. So I went, or whatever the percentage, I went 6 into 14.3.
Yeah, it's about 40.
Now, of course, for all the reasons we wanted to just check here, our opponent check raises. He makes it 15 bigs.
Ew.
So he like clicks it almost, right?
Old, but you're extremely unhappy right now.
I feel like that's such a mistake to just fold here. Oh God, it kills me. I have I unblock the nut flush draws. There's just, he's not doing it with King Queen, so we know that. He would do it with King Jack, so that's a possibility. Like King Jack suit and stuff like that. Yeah. Man. So
yeah, you're already kind of bluff catching, and if he's bluffing,
yes, you are already bluff catching 100%.
Let me ask you, Wes, are you folding here?
The thing, so
there's still draws. There's still lots of combo draws.
There's still lots of combo draws. The problem is like people don't just, when people check raise the flop, especially in a spot where it's like you three bet, they are so frequently going to barrel turn and river.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah.
It's like,
And this is the guy that I'm not trying to face up
He-
3 big
You're
streets.
gonna be in an awful spot.
here's what I would ask. Like, if it comes offsuit 4, offsuit deuce, are you going to call down to all in? If the answer is yes, then sure. But if you're going to fold anyways, then I might just get out of the way now.
Yeah, I mean, once they're calling the flop, it's
Yeah.
you're
Okay,
calling
well,
Like,
down
are
deep.
you going to need to turn an ace or a king
spot.
to call the turn, you know?
yeah, right. You might be right. So here's the thing. It's like if he obviously just clicks it back and it's just like, yeah. Oh God. I thought in the moment again, I thought like I feel like folding on this flop at this point just might be a little too soon. I wanted to reassess the turn. Okay.
Yeah.
If the turn, my plan was this: if like the turn was a complete brick, I'd consider calling in one dependent on size, and then if he goes, I don't know, if he goes for the jam on the turn on the river, I would obviously just then fold because I don't think he's just going for, I don't think he's check raise triple barreling with
Pretty
draws.
strong.
Withdraw. So anyways, I do end up calling the 15 big. So now the pot is 44.3. I have 52. He's got 63. We get the 5 of hearts on the turn. So now it's a 2-tone board. We get the 9 of hearts, jack of clubs, king of clubs, 5 of hearts. It's essentially a banana, right? There's not, it's the brick that I was
2 flush draws now?
2 flush draws, yeah. So I mean, yeah. Yeah, right. I just like what, so that I'm trying to think of the hands I'm beating here that we could potentially play that way is potentially ace queen of clubs, potentially ace 10 of clubs. But I
10,
even
8 of clubs.
right. I feel like the ace 10 and ace queen of clubs.
Is that the nut
against
flush draw on the flop?
Yeah, and
I don't think that's gonna check raise.
yeah, exactly. I
think
think
it's
he's
all.
just going to try. I mean, considering our stacks, I think he's just going to try and realize equity and not try and bloat the pot as well with with a hand. Because it's kind of like a disaster if he gets it in and somehow bricks and loses. So
Yeah. There's other flush draws you can check raise. I don't think you do with the nut flush draw.
yeah, I mean, I'm curious if he ever has like 7, 8 of clubs here. So like the butt end of a straight draw with a club draw. Do you see what I'm saying? Which also the 5 of hearts now brings in a double gutter with a flush draw. So if he has the 7, 8 of clubs, he would now have a flush draw and a double gutter. But that's just one combo, obviously. I guess you could have 7, 8 of hearts too. What do you think? Okay.
And
anyway,
yeah, I just never wanted to bet this flop.
yeah. Okay. So I did bet the flop, and now I'm in this predicament.
No, I know. Yeah, so you check to him and he bets again.
So he bets again. So there's 44.3. Again, I have 52. He has 63. He bets 13 bigs into 44.
He's just got a straight.
Yeah, definitely some combos.
Yeah, it's possible. So again, his sizing is super
Jacks
small.
and nines.
He's setting up like a really nice like 0.7 SPR jam on the river, which I mean, but again, there's still some draws that haven't got there yet. So I call the river, and this is what Wes said. If the river comes 2 bananas, 2 bricks, we get the 3 of spades on the river.
Got 2 bricks.
Yeah, so it's 2 absolute bricks here. And now he jams 50 into 70. I have 40 behind. We just have to call here with all the misdraws, right? I'm just trolling. I ended up folding.
No, I get you. I mean,
Yeah.
I just
if I call the
I
turn
think your side of things here, I just don't know if he's just gonna barrel off a bluff here when he got to the 2 biggest stacks. Like,
I don't think he is either. And that's kind of in hindsight.
I'd be yeah, I'd probably fold river.
So I ended up folding river. I was left with 40 bigs. I ended up I think I busted like 17th in the tournament, but I felt like that was a really tough spot with my hand is obviously still very strong. It's a 3-bet pot. I have ace king. It's a king high flop. It's obviously a very wet and dangerous flop. He could have the nuts. What are your thoughts on how I played it? And feel free to just absolutely destroy me or tell me what you thought was good about it, whatever you want.
I mean, like I said, I wouldn't, it'd be check flop for me.
Check
on
flop.
this board.
Okay.
Yeah, I just think you get into too many dicey situations.
And then on this exact run out on the 5 of hearts, 3
against a chip leader.
If we're checking the flop, we have to plan on just calling 2 streets on these 2
Yes.
bricks.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, then it'd be
I think that is
call,
going to
call.
be the best play
depends
in this
on what his
situation
sizes
against
are.
this opponent. Stack dependent. It's a unique spot. I mean, is it not right?
Yeah, I mean, So check, check, flop or whatever, depending on its sizes, I might raise at 1.2, but I'd have to like kind of see what sizes he chooses
If
on
you
the
like
turn and on the
block
river.
bets or something.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
That makes sense. Okay. Yeah. So, I mean, I didn't go broke there. It was a tough spot deep in this tournament. I thought I was going to win it. Honestly, I was just crushing. And, he didn't have he hadn't played against me hard or played back at me hard to this point, and now he's finally doing it. That also leans me towards value as well. So,
Yeah, that's
um,
I like that sense of it. Yeah, if he's not playing back at you too much, he's not trying to like
yeah.
you got a pots.
I
might
will
even
say
find
one more thing before we finish this hand up, and then what we can get to one of Wes's before we wrap up. But
Sure.
um, I asked him if he had it. I just said, "Did you have it?" And he said he had it and a flush draw.
Oh
So
yeah,
Oh,
Queen 10
10
of
suited,
hearts or
hopefully.
something.
he had
Yeah.
that's he had
Queen 10
one
of clubs.
hand. He had the Queen 10 of hearts or clubs.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, anyways, that's all he said at first, because he can't have like King Jack of hearts because I have the King of hearts in my hand. So he had
Makes
the
sense.
yeah, he had Queen 10 suited.
Okay.
Set of jacks, set of nines, lots
Yeah.
of great.
Well, I didn't go busto. I lost a few chips. I mean, it couldn't have been. Honest opinion, and let's hear from you on this one, Wes. Played terribly, played okay.
I mean, it's the sort of spot where, like, actually, I will say when I quickly pulled up the hand when you sent it to me, I remember I was distracted, which is why I didn't respond. But my thought was like, oh yeah, like that. It kind of makes sense how you played it. It was a tough spot. Like I didn't have an immediate strong thought on it.
Okay.
Thinking about it now, given the stage of the tournament, I agree with like I think just check back flop and then
Check
not
call,
folding on
check
that run
raise.
out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
And honestly, maybe if you do see bet, just like fold to the raise.
Can do that too. Man,
It
gets so
yeah.
gross now.
Because
Gross.
you really can have all the sets. You could have three
Yeah.
bet Queen 10 suited. Like
I
you
think if
can,
I were
Ace
sorry,
King is not really like top of your range. Even if you had like I would almost put like a Queen Jack suited or Jack 10 suited as higher in your range because like they block more value and have more equity.
Yeah.
Like I would almost say, apart from like Ace Jack, Ace King is one of your worst value hands to be calling
Yeah.
to the river. So
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Did you have something you wanted to say?
yeah. So if we were to bet small on the swap and get check raised, I think I'm calling that. And then if he bets again on the turn, I might just fold the turn instead of the river. I want to see if okay, now I called when you showed re-aggression. So let's see if you get scared with that on this very scary board, or if you don't. And if he doesn't,
I have this really big problem where I gotta, I'll see him fire two, but I need to see if they're gonna fire three. If they fire three, all right, I get it, all right, I'm out, you win. But like two doesn't always convince me.
I've got a hand as well, John.
Sure.
This one is a live hand. Max, I think I may have run it past you, but I don't remember. This was from back in October. We were in the middle of day 2 in the 1100, the Fall Poker Classic Maine. So for those who are not from the Midwest, it's big 1100 in Minnesota in October. A lot of players, something like 800. I don't know. Day 2 started with a little over 100. Anyways, we were down to 4 or 5 tables, and chipping up. It was going well. I had around 1 million chips here, and the blinds were 10, 20K. And we're in the big blind with 7-5 of hearts. Recreational player, middle-aged, maybe older guy. He actually limps in middle position. And he only has maybe 250. So he limps off of like 12 or 13 big blinds. It folds to the small blind. Ku Vang, who had on the podcast, absolute crusher, great player. He completes, and we just checked the 7-5 of hearts. So there's 80K in the pot. Ku is also roughly as deep as us here. So we're about 50 bigs deep with him, and then we got the short stack.
How many people left close to the money?
Oh, it's we're in the money. It's 4 or 5 tables, so 30 something or 40 something left. Not too close to the big money.
Yeah,
but
so not significant jumps.
No, not really thinking about laddering. The flop comes out 8-8-7 with 2 clubs and 1 heart, We have 7-5 of hearts. So we have I guess 2 pair technically, backdoor heart draw, but pretty draw heavy board. And coup checks to us here. And I'll say what my play was, and then say what your thought is here. So my thought was, I just decided to min bet it because I thought
That's what I was thinking actually doing. Betting small.
yeah.
Bet like 25% pot.
Yep. Yeah. 20 betting 20K min bet is exactly 25%. And my thought there was the recreational player will probably respond pretty, like if he just has King Jack, he's gonna fold. We get to fold out his overcards for cheap.
Quite straightforward.
And coup can have like close to any 2 cards here.
Correct.
So we're happy to just take it down, betting a quarter pot here. And obviously, if we get called, we have a hand. We'll kind of evaluate. But
remind me the full flop one more time.
8 of clubs, 8 of hearts, 7 of clubs.
Okay, so you got pairs, 2 pair, with the 5
here. The rec player folds. Coup check raises to 75K over our 20K. And I'll say that against some players, in fact, against a decent amount of live players, my thought is I'm just gonna fold here.
That's fair. Yeah, that's definitely player dependent.
I do remember this hand.
I'm not folding to coup.
Yep.
We're gonna see what happens on the turn.
Yep. So I called. My plan is definitely some. He can have clubs. He can have straight draws. He could have an 8. He could even have some backdoor, like a gutter backdoor hearts type thing.
Lots of different gutters. Lots.
Yeah. So I call. The turn is the king of hearts. So now we have a flush draw.
Interesting. Okay.
And so the pot is 230K. He bets 165. So about 2/3.
Call.
Yeah. So we call this one.
You just call planning to fold to river bets unless you
see how much he bets. Let's see what the river card is.
He's blasting river, but you're just totally reassessing.
Yeah,
obviously try to hit a heart.
You just have to see what happens on this river card.
Okay. River is an offsuit ace of diamonds, I think, which is kind of interesting.
No, this is interesting. It's kind of weird to like barrel these 2 cards. So
yeah.
Okay. What does he do?
So pot is 540K, and my thought is like,
it's kind of an 8 or nothing here.
Yeah, it's kind of an 8 or nothing. My thought is if he had the ace high flush draw on the flop, he might not check raise that. He might just call because ace high could be ahead.
Yeah, I'm not too worried about this ace or the king, to be honest. Yeah. And it's kind of weird to barrel these 2 cards. So it's kind of an 8 or
without
nothing.
having an 8, right?
It's kind of an 8 or nothing, right?
Yes. And how much does he bet?
He bets like 160, like a third pot, like 180 maybe.
So
which is great. Getting 4 to 1. It's so
that's
and he, what's even better is he knows you're a thinking player, so
he's
exploiting his sizing against you for that reason.
So I would actually disagree. Not that he doesn't know I'm thinking, but I disagree about it being an exploit. I actually think he is going to be like this is the size he's gonna if he has like let's say he has 5-6, he just had an open ender. He's gonna take this small sizing and just say like, hey, I'm bluffing here to fold out all the missed draws, the 10-9s, all these missed draws that I still lose to with 6 high. I can bet small and get those all to fold, know? And so when he does that here,
look at it.
When he does that here, I'm like I don't expect to see.
But you're probably gonna fold a gut shot on the turn. You'll still call it the up and down straight draw, but he's gonna get out a decent amount of hands that you have on the turn with 2/3 sizing.
True, but you
don't have as much left.
There are on the turn though. There are 2 flush draws now.
Oh, there's 2 flush draws.
Yeah, so the two clubs on. Yeah, so the flop had club heart, and the turn was a heart. So we had the flush draw on the turn, the heart draw.
Okay, yeah, I missed the 2 flush draws. So that was just 1 flush draw. Okay, no, that changed.
So there's a decent amount of combos.
Yeah, you still plenty of hands on.
Yeah, and then like we have the 7x of hearts. We could have maybe king high clubs turn to pair. Like we could have a lot of random club. There are a lot of like random club draws.
Pair above that because he braised it. So
yeah, it's like
so
it
gross.
is.
It's like an 8 or nothing.
Kind of an 8
like,
or.
I wonder if he'd do something so thin, but there's not a whole lot of pairs that. It just doesn't have pairs that beat you here either. So it's just 8 or nothing. Seems like maybe sometimes offsuit 8 ace or something. I don't know.
Right. It's kind
Sometimes
of it is gross. Like
it is gross.
I'm getting 4-1 here. I have to be good like 20% of the time or better.
That's a gross spot. That's a gross one.
Yeah. I think I got the clock called.
That doesn't happen often with you.
I think I call, but
You
I
call.
do not like it.
You folded, didn't you? I think you folded.
I did fold, and I folded. I saw him flash a card across the table, and I was like, I don't really want to know. Like, it may have been an 8. It may have been an 8, but I was like, I want to be 100% sure in my head that he had an 8. I'm telling myself that so I can just move on, you know? And I did talk to him, or I messaged him after, and he said he had 10-8 offsuit. So he did have trips. But I actually don't know. Like,
That's a really close spot.
yeah,
That's a very tough spot. He made a very good sizing too.
He did,
I think
because
you just have enough hands that are like nothing hands, like lots of straight draw, flush draw type things that, like you said, there's 2 flush draws, both missed, and then you still have up and down straight draws. The gut shots will fold, but both flush draws and the up and downs are still there. So you got plenty of hands that just have nothing.
Right.
They'll get out with a very small sizing. So that's what made me lean towards call.
That's what I was thinking in the moment too.
But it's super gross.
And I think I may have actually made a mistake that was correct in the moment, you know, correct in this instance, but I think he'll use that size as a bluff. Before he made his river action, I was like expecting, Max, like you said, I was expecting him to bomb it like a really big bet. And I'm like, okay, I'll just fold. And then he bets that small, and I'm like, oh my God, he's gonna get value from me.
So I got a story. I had a ridiculous hand too. Who's actually like a really, really good friend of mine. But like there's we've played like a few hands together that's been kind of crazy over our longevity. But here's one where he almost made me fold trips because he was giving me 5-1 to call a check raise river bet on this like weird straighty board that I just never thought he would have a bluff here. So sometimes the smaller size is just even more ridiculous as a bluff because it's like, how the heck is a bluff when I can just call with so much? But it just made me go in the tank with trips because I just could not figure out how you could bluff with this line. But so that also, with that information, it's like, oh, small sizes, he's definitely going to have bluffs too.
Yeah. Oh, I know he can.
Familiar,
he's a phenomenal player.
He's an absolute crusher.
Absolute crusher.
Minnesota Hall of Famer. We actually have an interview with Koo too from last year. Maybe go check that out if you haven't listened to that yet. He is an incredible thinker. We break down hands with him as well. So make sure to check that out as well. Any last thoughts on that hand, Wes?
Glad that we were kind of on the same page. I mean,
that's a tough spot.
It is. I did afterwards. I did think like that actually is a spot I probably should call, but it was just
tough spot.
It is a really bad spot. I actually, what I was really thinking is like, God, I just wish I checked the flop.
I understand.
Hey, that's fitting, isn't it?
Small on the flop. Yeah. I would I would play the hand exactly the way you played it, and then I hate myself.
Yeah, you're probably taking the full time bank on the river and not sure. Yeah,
awesome.
That's good to know.
That's a tough one, Wes.
Yeah, one actual thing that helped.
Sometimes you can check the flop, sure.
And
play it differently, but I do not mind leading small that flop at all.
Okay, that's good to know.
Information
I guess
present. No, don't mind.
I guess the one thing I did think of is having the 5 of hearts is kind of bad because maybe his bluffs that he could have include a 5.
Yeah,
you know, like that's a very small detail, but I guess
it's a detail. It's 1%.
It's a detail. Yeah. So
it's those small things that we kind of have to, just utilize little by little to make the decisions that we come to, right?
And then I lost a flip, and then lost ace jack versus king jack against Koo, and I busted the tournament. So that was within like 2 orbits. So I was driving home thinking about this hand a lot. So,
John, I have just a couple questions for you. I'm going to edit this part out, but do you have maybe 5-10 more minutes?
Yeah, go for it.
All right, won't be too long, I promise.
You're fine.
Okay, so I got 2 questions for you from a couple of Discord listeners, actually a couple of Minnesota guys as well. This first one here is from Al. He goes by BossHog88 in Discord. I think this question might be him trying to just get some information from you. So next time he plays against you, but I'm going to read the question and you can tell him to
Fine.
either screw off or you can answer it. So I'll let you
Definitely
decide. He says, what's the biggest adjustment you can make? Excuse me, what's the biggest adjustment you do make when playing against a table of Recs who aren't GTO studied?
Well, that's how I used to always play poker because I wasn't GTO studied. So, I mean, you just pick up on things. I mean, so how I used to play online poker all the time, I never used a heads up display or anything.
Yeah.
So I would always base on aggression factor.
Okay.
And then based on aggression factor, I'd figure out if like 3 bets or 4 bets were lighter than normal or much tighter than normal. And that's how I constructed ranges for people. So basically just pay attention to everybody.
I
Pay
think you
attention
and I
to how much
relate.
they open, pay attention to how they play different board textures, pay attention to how often they 3-bet, that type of stuff.
I think you and I really relate on paying attention to aggression factor and then playing against that or adjusting to that, I guess I should say.
I love playing against people who are super aggressive.
Yeah,
That's my
honestly,
favorite demographic to
I
play
feel like
against.
that's one of my
Please be
strongest
aggressive
parts of
against
my
me.
It's nice when you're like, oh, I get to actually bluff catch these. You know, I don't just have
Yeah.
to fold when they
I
bet.
don't just
I'm
have to
somebody
fold.
that's like, okay, if I lose my tournament here, I lose my tournament here, but I go with what my read is.
And then
And
they have-
sometimes it'll be wrong, but
Yeah.
I go with what my read is.
I love that. That's playing poker. You have to, right? I mean, you got to go with it. Conviction plays. I love that you were mentioning that earlier as well. So next question from Mr. X-Ray Arlo. You're familiar with Arlo? He's another local MN
He's
guy,
the up and coming crusher.
up and coming crusher. Yep, had some successes. So
Always have to mention that mustache too. Very handsome.
He
very
has his own
handsome
style.
young man with a nice mustache. I'm an absolute crusher. So he's got 2 questions. First one,
Sure.
and we kind of covered this a little bit, but maybe you can just kind of reiterate or just kind of go in deeper into it. But
Yeah, that's fine.
he says, I'm assuming John plays poker professionally, full time for a living. In that case, I'm curious about his jump from a traditional job to poker. What milestones and prerequisites did you have to make that happen? And how did you set yourself up for success? You have any kind of answer to that?
Sure. Well, like, so poker and like investments I've made amount to 99% of all the money I've ever made. So like I've had real jobs and stuff too, but they just haven't come close to what I made. Like it's actually a 50-50 too between poker and investments. Honestly, like pretty equal. And then for the rest of my jobs, it's given me a little bit, but not as much. So it's just been kind of like, oh, this is where I actually make money. But I always got pushed back to more of a traditional education just based off of like how my parents were pushing me. Both are doctors, so what they saw where my trajectory was like, oh, you're gonna ruin your life or whatever. So yeah, fortunately I have not, but I got my master's degree now in mental health counseling. I mean, I can always fall back on that if I want to. I had to probably practice in it briefly before
Having a plan B is always nice.
Life event happened, huh?
I said having a plan B is always nice.
100%. So it's really nice to have that. But like my passion right now is with poker. I love it.
So. And you're just as hungry as ever, and you've been doing it for a long time. Second question. If he isn't playing full time, speaking of John, if John isn't playing full time, I'm curious about how he manages his poker time. Do you have a rigid schedule, picking and choosing events to play? Do you still play online? Have you ever fallen out of balance and
yes.
By playing too much? And how did you restore it? What did you learn from that experience?
I mean, I've definitely had burnout periods. Actually, before I started doing it full time, the last couple of years, actually, I definitely had a burnout period. COVID kind of rocked me a little bit. That's actually when I did my private practice for performance coaching for about 8 months.
Yeah.
There was back in like, I don't know, mid 2000s, 2010s, I don't know, 2015, something like that. I just didn't play poker for 9 months or whatever. I just felt super burned out by it, and then came back and did well. Like poker, something you have to have a life balance. If you go all in it, you're going to burn yourself out. So fortunately now I got a wonderful family, wonderful wife, wonderful daughter.
Yeah.
Work out twice a week. I try to just keep a good life balance.
Yeah.
Now,
I mean, it's as well said as you can say it. I mean, you have those other things that kind of pick you back up and like you said, balance you. They take you away from focusing on that too much, and
Mhm.
and it probably helps keep your hunger, for poker. So
Mhm.
I love that. Yeah, Arlo, thank you for those questions. Appreciate
Yeah,
those. Those were a
thanks,
couple of
Arlo.
questions, guys. If you have questions for our interview guests, make sure to check out our Discord. We have a questions for the pod tab in there. Go and lay questions. I usually, mention who's coming on the pod ahead of time, and you can always ask us questions to get them on the episode. So we want to make sure and check that out. John, we got one more question. Last question.
Yeah. Go for
Wes.
Is poker more of an art or a science?
it. Online, it's a science. Live, it's an art.
Yeah, that's fair.
I like this. I swear it's different.
Everyone's a little different in their
Yeah.
answer.
And I love that because I agree with that. And
Much more GTO online, and
more
you can find
exploitive.
lots more exploitive stuff live.
All right.
That's the best way to.
I love it. Cool. John, thank you again for taking the time to come chat with us, dude. You're an incredible guy.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was fun. Feels overdue,
my pleasure.
honestly.
It is overdue for sure. And if you guys ever want to say hi to John, Wes, and I, you can probably find us at your local what's that restaurant we go to at every stop?
Cracker Barrel?
You can find us at your local Cracker Barrel.
Fantastic.
That's just
Great
been in
price,
Iowa, though.
Lots of food. Fantastic.
Yeah, but anyways, bad joke. Anywho, glad to have you on here. Wes, shut your mouth. And and everybody else, I hope you have a good rest of your day. We'll catch you guys next week for the next episode of Sued Kings podcast.